Hello everyone and welcome to the 8th edition of the RRLeagues GT3 Masters. We are right here back with you for another massive season of 8 races of GT3 action. It's been a while, about a year, since we've had our previous series, and we're right back on it. We have 40 drivers, many teams that have signed up, old faces, new faces, newly forged teams, etc. So everything new, a whole new season built by the whole staff at RRLeagues, and culminating here today with the first round at Silverstone. But let's first dive into some information for all of you to get you up to speed on what is coming for you in the next 16 weeks. So we have bi-weekly races. So every 2 weeks we will have a race. And first of all, today we are at Silverstone for round 1. Then for round 2 we will travel to Italy, to Misano for a 90-minute race. Then it is on to Zandvoort for a sprint race weekend, which we introduced in the 7th edition of the Masters. Then it is on to Bathurst, so all the way around the globe to Australia for round 4, a 2-hour race there at Mount Panorama. Then it's back to Spa for our longest event, the 2.4 hours of Spa-Francorchamps. Then it's a new addition to this series, the Nordschleife. Again, a sprint race weekend. And then only 2 rounds left. 17th of November, Barcelona, 90 minutes. And Suzuka is the final round of this championship. And most probably it will all come down to the wire in that case. So we will have to see what this season brings. We're not traveling to continental America for this series, so Europe and Asia is what it's all about. For today, as I said, we are at Silverstone, the home of British racing, and we are set for a 2-hour race immediately with a one-time multiplier. Just a dry, cloudy Silverstone for today, so everything to get eased into this series for everybody. We have 2 mandatory fuel pit stops, so no mandatory pit stops for tires, but that will give some options on strategy. We'll see what will be the fastest option. Now that's it for today, but who is actually racing in this series? You will see some well-known names from our community and some new names as well. Here we see the first batch. Let's see. So first of all, Alpha SimSport in the Porsche. That's our AM Cup winner from last season, Hannah Song, with her new teammate Iridius Partis from Poland, as I said, in the Porsche. Then we also have Max Bayer and Ruud Dennis Grizzly Racing. Max Bayer, the reigning GT3 Masters champion, together with his teammate of last 2 seasons, if I'm not mistaken, Ruud Dennis. They are in the Lexus. Then the Ford Mustang for Radek Pavlacek and Sven Hecke. 2 known names, but a new team called Horsepower. Then we have Finger Racing with Florian Kutz from Germany, Tomi Kosonen from Finland. We have Cliff Bilke and David Tore from Intense Racing, also racing in the Ford. Finger Racing was again, as last season, in the Ferrari. Timo Siska and Justin Vetter. That's Timo is a known RRL regular, Justin a first-time joiner for our GT3 series. We have Amadeo de Keizer and Bram de Pretre also in the Ferrari, just as the Nerf GT guys. In the Ferrari, NSN Racing, a very strong team. They claimed the team's championship in one of the previous series. We will have a look at that in just a bit. And we have Dirk Weigt, also participated in the 7th edition, and Rafael Xampel in Prosecco Performance in the Porsche. We have Robert Horvat and Sabols Albertini for the Pannonia Racing team from Hungary in the Lexus as well. And we have Nemanja Manojlovic and Damian de Grasse in the Aston Martin. As I said, that's the first half of the grid. Here comes the second half. We have the Mackenberg brothers for Speculacious in the Lexus. We have Cy Fillingham and Ralph Arella, Team 77, also in the Lexus. We have Ian Baskin and Mike Landreth for TSR Racing Great Britain in the McLaren. We have TSR Racing Netherlands with Richard Venema and Alexander Huizing in the Ferrari. Then Stefan Vierloos and Paul Heron, a newly formed team. Stefan last time around was in a one-off entry for Justus Racers and has now joined the main team with Paul Heron in the Lamborghini. We have Kevin Rowlands and Michael Huma in what I think is the only Mercedes. Yes, it is. We have the Yellow Bull Racing, Sven de Wulf and Tino de Munk, two Belgians in the Lamborghini. And then we have 6 solo drivers: Nigel Wood in the McLaren, Michael Thomas in the BMW, together as well with Olivier Kouwenberg. Wouter Billen is in the Ford, Rob Taplin is in the Lexus, and Frank Keurvelds is in the McLaren. A couple of teams have created some very nice custom liveries, which we will see on track in just a bit. We have introduced at RRLeagues, I think about 3 years ago, the livery launch week. That was last week, where everybody who did make a custom livery could show it off in a video or a presentation with images, etc. And many teams really went all out. I will show you some images from that, but we will go into that in future races. We will have a look at those videos, those presentations, but you can see a really diverse grid here with a lot of different styles, different cars, and that's the first half of the presentations. And here we have the second half. As I said, we will all get to know all of the drivers very, very soon, but very much a very nice grid of cars that is assembled for this series. Now, before the drivers will head into qualifying in about a minute, we will have a look at the prizes on offer for this series. This series is sponsored by simlab.eu as our main sponsor, and also by Race App, the management application that we use, as well as RRLeagues offering some prizes. So for the Drivers' Championship, we have some vouchers up for grabs for first 5 places of the Drivers' Championship, but we also want to reward commitment. So any driver that is participating in 7 or 8 races of this series will be put into a random draw at the end of the season and will be eligible to win a €125 voucher from SimLab. So great to have SimLab on board. And then next to that, we had Race App sponsoring our livery launch week, which for which they could give out 2 times €25 for their store, and 4 times a supporters package, giving you insights or many more insights into statistics, etc. about your racing. And then last but not least, our own community is also chipping in. First place in the Teams Championship will receive 2 tickets to a GT World Championship race of their choosing, and some t-shirts to go along with their accolades. As well, the Pro, Silver and AM classes will receive t-shirts if they want them, and the Ironman as well. And that already puts into perspective what we have on offer. In terms of racing, we will have 3 classes instead of 2, and everything will become clear in not too long. So the drivers, as you can hear, have stopped their practice laps. The timer is running down and we are heading into qualifying. Now, before we do that, let's have a quick look back.
Green light, go, go, go.
The light is green, and we have a 20-minute qualifying session on our hands. Let's have a look at the first people out of the pits. Here we are, the nice stream of cars coming out of the pits, and let me reorganize my stuff here in just a bit as everybody goes out on their out laps. Here we are, starting the laps, and for once, no, indeed, for once, it's not Bram de Pretre at the top of the field. It is one of the BMWs, number 28. Let's see who that is. I'm not familiar with the numbers yet, but that will come with time, I'm sure. Number 28. Where are you? Number 28, Michael Thomas. So Michael Thomas, one of the first people ever to come out of the pits in front of Bram de Pretre in a RRL qualifying session. Very nice to see that. Now, let's see what we can do here and what we can see in terms of lap times. Many practice laps were done in the lead up to this series and to this race. If I'm looking, yeah, well over 1,500 practice laps for Silverstone alone, and we had a long build-up to this season. As I said, it ended last year in December, and now the GT3 Masters is back as Landreth is starting his first flying lap. Let's go on board with him, if I can make that work. Sure we can. No. Okay, my page is a bit too small. That will be better. Oh, and a big small mistake there already from Michael Landreth. And just looking at those practice times, as I said, we had Bram de Pretre in the Ferrari topping the timing sheets with 1:57.227. We will have to see if we can get close to those times. If you have any questions, any remarks about the stream, feel free to ask away, and we'll try to get back on your question. If you want to get involved, then please head on over to rrleagues.com or our Discord channel, where you can find all the information. Everybody now, almost everybody out on their opening laps. Let's have a look at the track map. Yeah, very busy track here for today. So we'll have to see. So far, just seems like quite a clean lap from Mike Landreth. Just a bit wide there on the first lap, so let's see if this lap is a valid one. Just to make you aware, we have 36 drivers on the server right now. So that's 36 of 40 joining us, which is always nice to see for the beginning of the series. First times should be coming in, as they are. Tommi Kosonen currently topping the timing sheets. Okay, looks like we were following the wrong car, but in any case, Michael Thomas was out first in the BMW and is now also topping the timing sheet, so sorry for that. But I will not forget that. Yeah, very distinct purple pink livery there on the BMW. And as you can see, a dry Silverstone for everyone. Now, 36 drivers to keep an eye on. That won't be easy. Almost everyone is improving here for this second flying lap, essentially. Let's see. You can see in the timing tower who is in the pro class. That's the white numbers. The silver class, that's the gray numbers, and the M class, that's the red tags. So that split is now made on a best guess and experience from the staff members. But after round 2, that will be reviewed as well. Let's have a look. Florian Kutz crosses the line and goes into second place. And Thomas already, Kutz aborting his lap. Let's see. Michael Huma in one of the only Mercedes cars together with Kevin Rowlands, the Winward Racing team. They forged that team during the Spa 24 a couple of weeks ago and signed up for this series. So always nice to see. The same happened, by the way, with had my timing set up a bit weird, so I could not see who was in first. Now let's see, we have Michael Thomas, we have De Keizer and De Preiter, so NSN Racing in the Ferrari doing quite well. Then we have Wouter Billen in the Mustang, so first of the Mustangs. Then Marvin Mackenberg, already almost half a second down. David Tore, Max Bayer, Sven Mackenberg, Cliff Bilke, and Florian Kutz for the first top 10 positions. Then if we go a little bit further down the timing tower, we have Hecke, De Grasse, Willingham, Taplin, Pavlacek, De Munk, Roland, Huma, and Arella. And then we have Paskin, De Wilf, Partis, Kouwenberg, Manojlovic, Coulson, and Albertini. And that's only 2 seconds behind Michael Thomas for 27 positions. So a lot of practice has gone into this race. Times will be close, maybe a bit closer on this occasion than in the next races where we only have 2 weeks of practice essentially. But as you can also see, beautiful liveries like for the Yellow Bull racing car here from Sven de Wilf. So looking at timings, Sven Mackenberg and Cliff Bilke. Sven Mackenberg is improving. Well, let's see. Up into 5th position, indeed, he moves. So good run for the Lexus, which is included in this series as we are using the custom BOPs used by LFM and Pitscale.io, and that's what makes the Lexus a possible option, and many have taken it. As you can see, many teams have taken it, and the series was also branded the Lexus Cup at the moment. So we'll see if we can see a Lexus at the top of the timing sheets at some point during this race. Now, I'm not really looking at the classes, but we see silver class. So the top 10 are all pro drivers. Silver class is also quite close, but Xander Huizing is a lonely AM contender in 13th position. His closest rival is Hannah Sung. She is in 29th position. So a bit of a difference there. We'll see what that brings for the future. Not too many improvements right now. Yeah, Ian Paskin. Ian Paskin is improving in the McLaren. He's in 21st right now and finishing off his lap. Will he improve? I think he will. But he stays in 21st position for the moment. We are halfway through the first qualifying session of this GT3 Masters, and everybody keeping it civil, but a very close grid. As you can see at the top, Michael Thomas has about 2/10 of an advantage on Amadeo de Keizer, and both de Keizer and de Pretre are pushing, also Wouter Billen. All are improving ever so slightly, but not really anything to trouble Michael Thomas right now. Now, in terms of weather, we shouldn't be expecting any big setups or upsets, I should say, for the coming minutes. So that's always good to have a good base. Silverstone is also a very nice track to start the season on. And as I said, for the next round, we are going to Italy, to Misano. Now, we don't know a lot about Michael Thomas, or at least I don't, but if I'm not mistaken, he is doing some ACC driver coaching, so he knows what he is doing. But right now, Amadeo de Keizer, he is flying. He is flying, and he is almost 3/10 up on his own time. He still has about 1/3 of the lap to go, but he's running well. Let's go on board for the final section of his lap. He is within contention of pole position at the moment. Can he get the braking? Well done. Yes, he can. Oh, can he get it turned in? He's losing a bit of time now on the acceleration, but he might be getting pole position right now. Let's see. Yes, he does, by 1/10 of a second. Very nice lap there in the NSN Ferrari number 8. Amadeo de Keizer aborts this lap, and not too many improvements. Paul Heron, let's have a look at him. Where are you, Paul? Ah, there he is, improving by half a second at the moment, which means he could jump up about 10 spots if he keeps this up. In the Useless Racers Lamborghini, if I'm not mistaken. Useless Racers were also driving that last season. Yes, I'm not mistaken, that was the case, and he is improving by 7/10. But Michael Thomas is not letting this one go so easily. We'll jump right back to him once Heron gets his lap done. Thomas is improving by half a tenth. Now, what can Heron do? From 27th, he jumps to 19th position. Very, very well done. And Michael Thomas, with 5 minutes left on the clock, is improving ever so slightly together with Wouter Billen. He's 2/10 up on his own time. And also Ralph Urella down in 21st in the Lexus number 77 is improving. So everything bunching up ever so slightly. Gaps are very, very small, so even a small improvement will mean that Here comes Thomas. Doesn't seem like he will be improving. Nope. He wants to try for another run. Now we go to Radek Pavlacek. And, well, speculations. The Mackenberg brothers, 5th and 7th. De Keizer and De Pretre, as Billen has jumped into 3rd spot in the Mustang. Very nicely done. So it's De Keizer from Thomas from Billen. And De Pretre. Let's have a look at him. He is improving and coming up already to the last turn. He will jump in front of Wouter Billen, I think. No. No, he doesn't. That was an invalid lap for him. So he has some pace in the bag, but couldn't execute it perfectly just yet. Oh, sorry, he's not just not at the end of his lap. De Pretre 2.5 tenths up now. Can he make it in NSN front row? Now he has some traffic in front of him, but that will give him some draft. He jumps up into 2nd, so it's a front row lockout for NSN Racing with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left on the clock here in this qualifying session. De Pretre and De Keizer not improving anymore, but 57.147. That's the quickest lap we have seen so far also on the practice sessions. Xander Huizing still in 13th position, just under a second off from current pole sitter Amadeo De Keizer. And at the moment, doesn't look like anyone is going to challenge him. Michael Huma in 18th spot is improving. So let's have a quick look while I keep an eye out on the top 10. Hannah Song is in 26th for the AM Cup, and in the silver class, it's between Florian Kutz and Sven Hecke. Ferrari versus Mustang. Huma, he's 4 tenths up on his time, and that will give him quite a couple of places if he can keep it on the road for now. He will jump up a couple of places, up into 14th. Very nice in the Mercedes. His teammate Kevin Rowlands is in 10th spot, so a good run for Windward Racing. Right, so now almost the whole top 10 is slightly up on their own time. We'll have to see if anyone can make it work. 18 seconds left on the clock, so it's do or die now. Who will claim the first pole position of the GT3 Masters and kickstart their campaign to take another title, to take the title away from our current champion Max Bayer in 9th spot at the moment. The Winner of the Lexus Cup so far are the Mackenberg brothers in 6th and 7th. Only half a second down. And Amadeo de Keizer looks like he might even still improve on his own lap time. Paul Heron is also improving in 23rd position. Qualifying is now over. Everybody has time to finish their laps. Don't see many or any major upsets right now. Michael Thomas, of course, I'm gonna check because Thomas is ever so slightly up. He only needs 5 thousandths of a second to split the NSN Ferraris. So coming up on the final section here for him. If he can nail this one, he might be able to jump the Prêtre. It's going to be very, very close. Onto the power. And I think he might have it. It's showing 0, 0, 0. So I don't think he will be improving. It stays at 113. So that means it's pole position for Amadeo de Keizer. And he has his trusty teammate Bram de Prêtre next to him on the grid, Michael Thomas, making his intentions clear for this series in 3rd spot. Wouter Billen coming from ACC Vlaanderen in 4th spot. And Cliff Bulke, good start for him as well in 5th. Then we have Marvin and Sven Mackenberg, David Dore, Max Bayer and Kevin Rowlands all in the top 10. And it's Florian Kutz, Michael Huma, Sven Hekke, Xander Huizing. So Xander taking AM Cup pole for the moment. Florian Kutz, Silver Cup pole. And as I said, those classes might be switched around after round 2 once we get a bit more data on all of the drivers. But always a good start. Then it's Cy Fillingham 15th, about 1 second off of de Keizer. Rob Taplin, Damien de Grasse, Ian Paskin, Pavlacek, Heron, De Wolf, Arella, and Tino de Munk. I'm going to close one of my screens here and go back further down. Kosunen, Partes, Song, Kouwenberg, Manojlovic, Landwehr, Albertini, Vierloos, Keurvelds. And here we see a very, very nice assembled grid getting ready for the opening round of this GT3 Masters. As I said, the 8th edition already, so a lot of history, a lot of stories, rivalries, etc. And I think for today we will let everybody focus on the job at hand. We'll do some interviews after the race if possible, but I won't be bothering anyone. Maybe during the formation lap. But for now, let's have a quick look at the actual heritage that we have for this series. So everything started. The first GT3 Masters was run in Race Room Racing Experience. 39 drivers at that point, 8 rounds. You see the names there. Vlastimir Lucas was the champion. Dore was already part of that series so many years ago. Then we had Arella taking a crown as well. 77 were a team already at that point. Then we had Mike Stoffmehl winning one of the series for the 3rd series. 42 drivers, 77 again taking a team's championship. Bram de Prêtre won one together with Bettens for the 4th edition. Cliff Bulke and Intense Racing, Bulke and Dore won edition 5. That was in Assetto Corsa Competizione already. Then we have Team WRT, De Prêtre and De Keizer, so they are teaming up again. They won, dominated edition 6 with our biggest grid so far, 44 drivers, only 7 rounds at that point. And then our 7th edition last year was won by Max Bayer, and Intense Racing took the team's championship. And now the story is ready to be told for the 8th edition. Everybody getting ready again for 2 hours around Silverstone
30 seconds.
and 30 seconds left on the clock. Now let's see who we could find
20
on
seconds.
the Discord. We'll have a quick chat
10
with...
seconds.
No, we're not going to have a chat. We'll leave the guys alone and see, make sure they are concentrated so that we have a good first lap. And well, maybe I'm repeating myself, but a good first lap is always the best thing to have, especially in a 2-hour race. Everybody staying closely knitted together. That's the best you can have. So quickly need to check. Everybody now getting their tires, their brakes up to temperature. And let's see what the Mackenberg brothers have to tell us. We'll have to go for them. Marvin and Sven. Hey, Marvin, Sven. Good job on the qualifying session. How did the car feel?
Surprisingly good, I would say.
Surprisingly good. That's a nice start for a 2-hour race.
Unfortunately, now the much more important part is coming up. Quite less confident for the race.
All right. Well, at least you have your brother and teammate right next to you. So we'll see what that brings. Let's hope for a good first lap, and good luck to you both.
Thank you.
Cheers. They might have been a bit quiet. Sorry for that. They said they were not that confident for the race actually. So qualifying was a bit better than expected, but for the race, we'll see where they end up, of course. So the stress levels, yeah, indeed, Timo, I will try to get that fixed. Let's see if I can do that. Yes, I can. So that should be solved for later interviews. Now let's get ready for this first round. Everybody going double file now. Good luck to all contenders and to the commentator as well. And let's see if the Preter and the Keizer can make it through Cups in first and second position. Everybody on the edge of their seats. It's NSN blocking out the front row. 2 Belgians, followed by Michael Thomas and Wouter Billen. All the nice liveries now lining up.
Green light. Go, go,
And
go.
we are green for GT3 Masters 8. And de Breiteren and de Keizer keep first position, first and second through the first corners. But Michael Thomas putting the pressure on and getting past. That's getting past number 8. That's the Keizer. So the Keizer dropping back from first to third, it seems. Yes, it is. So Bram de Preter taking first position. And further down the field, let's see. Seems to be quite clean. There it is, the whole field. Looks like everybody got through the first lap cleanly. Let's have a quick look at the track map. Oh, very, very nice, guys. Very nice. Everybody still on with a chance now. It's going to get a bit difficult here in the opening stages. But let's have a quick look at Xander Huizing. He's right in the thick of it, just behind Florian Kutz. So the Silver and Am Cup leaders together, followed by Sven Hecke. In a very nice Ford Mustang. Very nice livery indeed. TSR, Team Netherlands in the Ferrari. And Michael Thomas. Oh, and it's, I think the Keizer, yeah, the Keizer dropped back to 5th position through those opening stages. Very easy to do, of course. Once you set a foot wrong through Maggots and Beckett's, it's very easy to lose some position. So Marvin Mackenberg jumping up into 4th position. Also Cliff Bilke is now in 3rd spot. He will be very happy with that, of course. And we have Huizing in the pits. Why would he be in the pits? Let's see if I can catch him on my timing screen. Seems I can't. Alexander Huizing was our Am Cup leader, and he's in the pits together with some other guys. So that's probably a splash and dash. So already serving the first fuel pit stop and getting out of traffic. Might be a good call. Many others have done it. Peskin, Venema. So it seems like Michael Landreth. Yeah, that's also so. All the 4 TSR guys have jumped into the pits. Team Netherlands and Team GB jumped into the pits to take their first fuel pit stop. Already putting myself in a difficult position to try and follow that up with 36, 35 drivers now on the server. So someone has dropped, but we have more than time enough to check it out. De Preter, meanwhile, with a healthy 1.3 second gap over Michael Thomas, Cliff Bilke in 3rd, Marvin Mackenberg in 4th. So everything a bit quiet maybe, but not so quiet here between Rob Taplin, Tommy Kosonen, Paul Heron. Rob Taplin and Heron, last time around they were in the Useless Racers team, but this time Rob Taplin is running alone. You can see the similarities in their liveries, of course, and they are sandwiching Tommy Kosonen from Finger Racing. Now it looks like there might be some early stoppers, as we've seen just now, and probably some late stoppers as well with these fuel calculations. Now it's always a risk because sometimes if your stop is too short, the game won't count it. But for Huizing, Landreth, Venema, and Paskin, seems like it has counted. Although Huizing, no, that's the laps. No, for Huizing as well. So they have one more mandatory pit stop left to do. Let's go on board with Arella, who is very much in the thick of it. He has Taplin, Kossen and Heron in front. And he has Spartis, De Munk, De Wulf, Manolovic all within less than a second behind. Let's even go a little bit further down. Here you can see the whole train of cars. And still, except for those 4 pit stoppers, everybody pretty much nose to tail, which is what we want to see. That will be a big sigh of relief for everybody. Sven de Wulf taking it very easy, easing off the throttle there, not really making any intentions to get past Tino, which is of course his teammate, so they're trying to get through the pack together. Now, Alexander Huizing pitting, that means that Hannah Song is now essentially in the AM Cup lead, which is what we saw last time around as well. And I'm going to quickly jump forward just a bit as things are heating up. Ooh. Dust getting kicked up left, right and center. But here's Michael Thomas and Cliff Bilke. Bilke has gotten past Michael Thomas. I thought he was getting past De Pretre, but no, it's Bilke getting past Thomas. Let's have a quick look if we can find that. I'm sure we can. Here we are. Maybe not the greatest of exits. Let's see if we can get a better view. Straight line speed of the Mustang really paying dividends here for Cliff Bilke, putting himself on the inside at the end of Hanger Straight and getting it stopped. Oh, big slide there, but gets past Michael Thomas for second spot. Bilke moving forward. That gives Bram de Pretre just a bit more breathing space. Now let's go back to our live driving, shall we? So Thomas still behind. And the Kaiser. Here we see P2, P3, P4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, etc. Everybody so close together. There's battle packs all over the grid, which we can't all see, unfortunately. But great to see that the field is so close. And I hope that will remain the case throughout the season. But with this big of a grid, I have no doubts. To everyone watching, if you like what you see, please leave a like on the stream, subscribe to the channel to get notified of it, all the future live streams. This series is on bi-weekly on Sunday evenings with live streaming from myself, and so get involved like that, or just join us on Discord or our website to get racing, of course. Now let's go back. Olivier Kouwenberg is also right in the thick of it, running a very nice Belgian livery in the BMW. We have the Alpha SimSport Porsches coming through as well, right behind him. The black with the multicolored splitter. And one of the Aston Martins, Manojlovic in the Aston Martin. His teammate De Grasse is in 13th spot, so going strong as well. Sven Mackenberg also moving up to 6th position already. Wouter Billen has dropped back a bit, so things changing in these opening 10 minutes of the race. And it's oh so close. Can Hannah Song make the pass on Manojlovic? On Kouwenberg, sorry. She's on the inside. Oh, that was close. This gives us a much better view. And it's starting to rain. It is starting to rain. I don't think anyone was expecting that. I didn't spot it either, but it's only for just a little bit. It is starting to rain. This throws a spanner in the works for pretty much everyone. Now, which car is strong in the wet? Everybody's probably running a bone dry setup. At least I didn't really pay attention to the weather. Was showing to be normally dry, but we'll have to see if this changes things. This short rain, typical Silverstone, I would say. We'll have to see how long it takes, if anyone has to pit. I don't think so. It will be quite short, and then it will go back to dry, so the track is only greasy right now. But this really puts the drivers under pressure already. So far, not too many mistakes, but we'll have to see. Cy Fillingham, for example, right behind Ruud Dennis. Lexus versus Lexus. Cy getting a bit of a better exit. 26. His teammate Arella is in P17. And Cy getting it stopped and getting past Ruud Dennis. Nicely done. Cliff Bilke, Thomas, Mackenberg, De Keizer, Mackenberg. Everything staying as is, but let's go on board, see. Oh, the Lexus, yes, the Lexus is good in the wet. We know that from the past. Almost forgot. The Lexus is very strong in the wet, so we might see the Mackenberg brothers and Max Bayer here moving, getting a bit of an advantage here. Of course, you have to keep it on the road. Kevin Rowlands right behind. Again, learning your new braking spots. Getting on the power here. Oh, Dore. Going quite a bit wide. The Keizer and Billen as well are very, very close. Ken Bayer. The issue is he has a Mustang in front, so they are very quick on the straight line, and even with the advantage in the wet, you need that pace on the straight to get past. Of course, in the wet, it's a bit easier to try and get past in the corners, but then you really have to go for it. I'm not sure Bayer is willing to take that risk. Oh, but Dore, wow! Whoa, that was a very good save from Max Bayer. Wow. That got my heart pumping. Now, it is... Looks like it's still raining, but not that hard. Not that hard, for sure. Here is Billen and Mackenberg in the Lexus. Slowly but surely getting closer to Amadeo de Keizer in the Ferrari. And the Prêtre looks like he is... Prêtre is doing well at the moment. Now a bit further down the field. Venema, Heron, Paskin. So Heron. Has he pitted? Yes, he has pitted. I don't think he has changed the tires. I hope not for him because it's already drying up once again. Now let's go back. It's very, very tight here around the top 10. Rollins, Bayer, Dore, Huma right there with them as well. Those are really the battles to watch. And then for the top 20, it's Manojlovic, Kouwenberg, Song, Partis. So Song and Partis are teammates. The Munk and the Wolf as well. I think the Wolf, yeah, the Wolf has gotten past his teammate, Tino de Munk. Now can the Wolf move up in the order? At the moment, the track is damp, but it will dry up very quickly with 35 GT3s running nose to tail. That water will be dispersed very quickly, especially given these ambient temperatures, 25 degrees ambient temperature. And also Rollins and Huma, Windward Racing, running together. I must say Bulke and Dora also for the team's championship doing very well. It's very close actually. It's NSN versus Intense Racing versus Speculacious versus Windward. More or less Windward to the bottom end of that, but still. Can Rollins put Dora under pressure? He has that straight line speed, which can help him a lot to defend, of course, but he needs to keep it tidy in the corners. The Intense Racing Belgian. And now Huizing, he is, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he's the first one of the people that have pitted. And he has gotten past Frank Keurvelds now, who hasn't pitted yet. Albertini might be his next victim. He is in 28th position. Albertini's teammate Robert Horvat not here today, but he will be joining us for the next race normally, I would think. Bulke remaining at about 3 to 4 seconds of the lead. And I think the pit stops will be a very important decider for sure here in this race. Will we see all splash and dashes at the end and one tire change in the middle of the race? or has anyone come up with a different and better strategy? Now, this rain didn't actually change that much. A bit more fuel saving maybe, so those who can think on their feet and calculate the saved fuel out might be gaining just a couple of tenths out wide. Also something to look at. Drive-through penalties for cutting or leaving the track surface. Cuts here is at the end of a nice train following Huma, Rollins and Dore. Any small slip up and everything can change in a blink of an eye. So the finger racing Ferrari and his teammate Kosonen in 17th. They're not doing too shabby. Cuts still leading the silver class at the moment, so he will be happy with that. We'll have to see if he remains in the silver class. He had a promising latter half of the 7th edition, and he wants to try and get a good start to this new series. And one thing that we did have last season, if I remember correctly, was quite some crashes on the opening round and some bad luck. And I must say, this race so far has been very well behaved. I've seen nothing wrong from anyone, at least for sure not with bad intentions. But yeah, Sven Meckenberg is now really putting the pressure on Amadeo de Keizer. He is able to stay with him, also has the best or the fastest lap overall. And for context, fastest laps right now are a low 58s. The drivers are now running 204s, high 204s. So Michael Thomas was half a second quicker than De Pretre last time around, but we'll see if that remains the case. De Pretre now eking out the gap again. Yeah, he's almost a second quicker than Bulke and Thomas. Now I'm curious to see. Here is Bartes, who should have his teammate Hannah Song. Ah, she's behind. Okay, thought she was in front, but they are trying to get past Kouwenberg now for already quite some laps in the Alpha Sim Sport. Now I'll show you the TV cams. Very spectacular livery as Kouwenberg is really putting the pressure on Damien de Grasse. Sorry, Nemanja Manojlovic and Tino de Munk in front is holding them up just a little bit, it seems, so far. But he is still in front on merit, the Yellow Bull Racing driver. Kouwenberg has to go defensive in the Belgian BMW. De Pretre now really putting some good times in, and that's Partis, I think, going through. Can Hannah Song take advantage of Kouwenberg, who is really focused to the front? Oh. Kouwenberg stays focused and stays in between Here is Kaunberg. Now Hannah Song is right behind. Let's go on board with her. Can she follow through with her teammate? She does have a look. But at the moment, she needs to stay behind. Huma and Rollins, 10th and 11th, so Rollins dropped back a bit. Dore is now in 9th position, and Bayer is really putting the pressure on Wouter Billen as well, half a second only between them. Concentration might begin to fade after the first half hour. That's what I always felt. Half an hour is fine, but then after that, sometimes it starts getting tough, especially if you've been in a battle for the whole time. Start to lose focus. And at the front of that field, as I said, Tino de Munk really doing good defensive work, and his teammate Sven de Wilf is now already quite a while on the road. Oh, a bit wide there for de Munk. Can he keep it together? Let's go with the helicam. That will give the best overview. Our helicopter drivers always there to assist. But of course, if you can pick and choose your lights in first position of this pack, that's always a big advantage through the technical sections. Oh, and that's Partis. And Manojlovic very lucky to catch it. And Partis slotting in behind. And Kouwenberg now getting back that position. So a small mistake, luckily with not too big or not too big consequences. And Manojlovic and Partis live to fight another day. And who is involved right there? It's Cy Fillingham slicing through these drivers at the moment. And we have a stop and go 30. Who was that? A bit further down. Justin Vetter. Not sure why that was, but in any case, a shame for him. So it's Song behind Fillingham, and then Partis in front with Manojlovic and Tino de Munk leading that pack still. Spreading out just a little bit. Cy Fillingham still running his wipers. They'll need a change after the race in that case. And at the front, the Predator is still putting in the good lap times, the best lap times of all. Now doing it 2 minutes and 7/10. Bilke 4/10 quicker now. Is the track coming to Cliff Bilke? It's always possible. And where do we have a close fight? Here we have one. Wouter Billen versus Max Bayer. Bayer was putting pressure in front, but now he has to look in his rear view mirror or camera. It's 8th position for Billen, fighting for P7. Oh, and Mackenberg in front. You can see him there. Still, after so many laps, still putting the pressure on Amadeo de Keizer. So de Keizer taking pole, but maybe his car set up just a little bit too aggressive for the race. That could be the case. And I think so far the Mackenberg brothers, who weren't that confident for the race for the moment, half an hour in, 1/4 of the race done, I think they can be very happy because the Lexus, even with the BOP, is normally not really the fastest car around the track. Oh, and Rolands is now behind Dore. His teammate Michael Huma, he got past Dore in the last few minutes, it seems. We didn't catch that, sorry for that. But it is this battle here between Fillingham and the two Alpha Sim Sport Porsches. He's right in between them. And can Fillingham find the pace to get past, in this case, Iridius Partes? Sai coming into the pits. Is this for a routine stop? It might be. I mean, he could fuel up and just get out of this pack, try to get in front on pace. We'll have to see if that works for him. Again, still this pack here incredibly close. De Keizer, followed by Mackenberg, followed by Bayer, followed by Billen. These guys. And having a look. Yeah, Bayer in the 59s. Two drivers in front of him into the 2 minute, low 2 minutes. So half a second quicker than Mackenberg and De Keizer. Billen also into the 59s. He's the last one in the whole grid to be in the 59s at the moment. Our reigning champion choosing the Lexus together with his teammate Ruud Dennis for Grizzly Racing, and we'll see if it's as kind to him as the really good run he had in the Nissan GTR in the Godzilla, where he didn't take the Drivers' Championship, but he made it very, very close with Bram de Pretre, if I remember correctly. And now Billen trying to take advantage of the Mustang straight line speed, but Hanger Straight, it's just a bit too short, it seems. Many people we haven't talked about just yet. Damien de Grasse, for example, his teammate Manolovic is in that battle there around P19, but Damien de Grasse in 13th spot showed signs of brilliance last season, but wasn't consistent enough in his performances and in showing up for the races. So now with the Aston, they need a solid result to start of the season, and they can only build from there, of course. Who are our newcomers that we haven't talked about yet? Let's have a look. Mike Landreth is one of those. He's coming from TSR, our friends over at TSR, another sim racing community. So if you're looking for some racing and the time slots at RRL do not suit you, feel free to head on over to TSR Racing channel and find something there maybe. But Michael Andred joining us together with Ian Peskin in the GT3 Masters, always nice to see. Also, Justin Vetter is back out for Nerf GT. He's Timo Siska's teammate. Timo not here today, so Vetter has to do it alone, and he had that stop and go 30, so he's a long way back now, 2 laps down on Cy Fillingham, who is in last position at the moment. But yeah, we'll see. And that does mean Fillingham being behind Peskin and Venema, for example, that Fillingham did take quite a bit of fuel on board now, and Venema, Peskin, etc. just did the shortest splash and dash possible. We'll see how that all plays out, but those are more or less the newcomers. Wouter Billen as well, but we have seen him. Michael Huma, we talked about him, and of course Michael Thomas almost taking a pole position in his first race here at RRL. The rest of the field, oh, Max Bayer, let's see, yeah, he did take a pit stop as well, so quite a couple of drivers. Cy Fillingham, Max Bayer now went into the pits, also getting out of that battle pack, so this timestamp seems to be the moment where you can pit for fuel and then be able to get to the end with one more stop. We'll have to see if that pays any dividends for Max Bayer, while, as I said, Mackenberg, Billen, Humer, they are still battling. Let's go on board with Michael Humer. Oh, sorry, it's Wouter Billen I was looking at. He has the Lexus of Sven Mackenberg and the Ferrari of Amadeo de Keizer just in front. Huma is about 5 seconds back from him, and he's being followed still by David Torre, also putting in a good performance, I think. Can Billen make the pass? He has to yeah, take some risks, I think, if you want to make a pass. As you can see, it's still oh so close. We have this pack, and then yeah, the gap at the front, the Pretere. He's surely but slowly, lap after lap, making that gap bigger. He needs to keep his wits about him. There will be lap traffic coming into play already right now, I think. Let's have a look. Where is our race leader? Number 44 there in Maggots and Beckett's. Yeah, he has some guys. The number 3, Richard Venema, is in front of him. Then number 46, Paul Heron. Then 19, 93. So all of the guys at the back of the field. This is what the spread looks like. So we have 44. Then Bilke, also with a good gap. Then we have Thomas Mackenberg. Then actually Cy Fillingham. Let's see for him. He's now battling Ian Peskin behind, but they have the leaders also coming up to them. Not the leaders, but De Keizer and co. see. I think Billen really has some pace over the two guys in front, but he needs to find a way past the Lexus and potentially the Ferrari. And the all-black Ford Mustang, the new addition to the game, and yeah, you can see quite a couple of them, and notably in second spot, Cliff Bulke going very strongly indeed. After getting into second spot, not really getting any big challenges from behind so far. Hannah Song currently still leading, and we have our race leader in the pits, and he still has to stop. Someone else still in the pits as well. Yeah, that's Sven Hecke. But it's a pit stop for our race leader now. Let's have a look at the track map. Will he come out in clean air? Looks like it. He's not shouldn't be too concerned about that. Also Ralph Arella coming in, Michael Huma coming in as well. So it's about 1/3 through the race. There goes De Pretre, comes out in a beautiful clean spot. Very nicely timed, I think. Yeah, and so that puts Cliff Bulke at the front of this race in the number 2 Intense Racing Ford Mustang. Will he follow Bram de Pretre into the pits, or do they have another strategy? Florian Kutz for Finger Racing, leader in the silver class, and closely following Rollins, who is right on the tail of David Dore. Very tough spot to be in here to what a mischief there for Florian Kutz, I think. But a difficult spot to be in if you're in such a close fight to dare dive into the pits, also setting up your pit stop while really on the limit as Marvin Mackenberg. So the first of the two Lexuses comes into the pits as well. Looks like Sven Mackenberg keeps going. And De Pretre came out in 14th spot. Good run there for Florian Kutz. One team we didn't really talk about yet, very sorry for that, is Horsepower, a very nice blue and red livery as well for them, with Pavlacek in 11th and Sven Hecke in 33rd right now, but he also has taken a pit stop already. So Marvin Mackenberg in pit exit. He comes out right behind Pavlacek. Yeah, that's Pavlacek with Manojlovic. Sorry, with De Grasse in front. Or is it? Oh, that's Kallenberg. Sorry, Kallenberg and Manojlovic. De Grasse is in the purple Aston Martin. And now Hannah Song is in the pits. Now let's see Hannah Song dropping down. And so Ruud Dennis is now in the lead of the race, but especially Xander Huizing is the one to watch. He's already out in front of Hannah Song, so he takes the lead in the M Cup class at the moment, Xander Huizing. Dennis and Firlos still have to pit. At the moment, flawless execution of these pit stops. And our top 10 stays out on track for now. Oh, and Marvin Meckenberg, he's losing a bit of time here behind Kouwenberg and Manojlovic. Trying to make the pass stick, and he does. But always difficult. So that's why I was looking at Bram de Pretre. He came out in a clean patch in front of these guys, but Marvin needs to work for it and lose a bit of time here again. I think he is a bit quicker, so we'll have to see how that plays out in the battle with Bulke Thomas, his brother, the Keizer Billen. They're all very, very close. And also Max Bayer, for example, he's behind Tino de Munk right now, and he has to make the pass. He's fighting for position. Tino doesn't have to let him through. Also, he's in the silver class, but he also doesn't have to let him through. But looks like he does. Goes a bit wide. And Bayer moves up into P18 for now. I'm very curious to see after this round of pit stops. Oh, as there's a bit of carnage up ahead, it seems. But Markenberg gets past Kouwenberg again, I should say. And Wouter Billen. Yeah, he was behind. As I said, he was behind. I think it was Marvin Meckenberg. Was in between him and the Keizer. Meckenberg has pitted. And there is Billen right on the tail of Amadeo. So Billen has some pace. He just needs to make it work for him and yeah, make passes, make them stick as well. So Billen clearly has the pace to potentially, maybe, get close to a podium spot. We'll have to see come the end of the race. So Xander Huizing in the lead of the M class with a pit stop in hand over Stefan Firlo. So that's a dominant performance for now. And the pace difference between Bulke and Thomas in the front is negligible, let's say. Now has the Pretre come? Yeah, he's now behind Tommy Kosonen. So some lap traffic for him. Let's see how he handles that from within the cockpit. It's Ferrari versus Ferrari. Not sure if Tommy will just leave him past. Leaves the door open, which is of course okay. He doesn't need to lose too much time defending from the current or the virtual race leader right now. But let's see, last lap for the Pretre, 58.2. Wow, 58.5 actually. But last lap for Bulke and Thomas, 59.4. So almost a second quicker. He is on fresh tires, of course. So at the moment, there's no big hopes of that gap at the front shrinking. Tino de Munk in the Lamborghini versus Nemanja Manojlovic in the Aston Martin. It's actually De Pretre and Marvin Mackenberg, the only drivers into the 158s. Yeah, the only drivers into the 158. So Marvin Mackenberg has lost a bit of time with traffic, but at the moment he seems to be clawing back that time. So we see Max Bayer going through the shot as well. And we still have 35 drivers driving around and on the track. So the weather seems like it's stable for now. No more rain incoming. So it was just a regular British shower that we got here on the airfield of Silverstone. Wouter Billen still behind. Amadeo de Keizer and Kevin Rowlands still behind. David Dore. Now a small story. Michael Huma and Kevin Rowlands, both Germans, they already knew each other, but they made some plans at the Spa 24 hours to form a team, and already took the time to take some real-life pictures from the Windward Racing Mercedes garage and the cars that they would be driving. So these are standard ACC liveries that they are running, and they made their livery launch presentation using those real-life pictures, which was a nice touch. And another team was also formed at the Spa 24. That was actually Tino de Munk and Sven de Wilf. They met each other there and decided to team up for the next race. Sven de Wilf won those Spa 24-hour tickets by being in the random draw at the end of last season, and he won some tickets together with Frank Kervelds, who unfortunately wasn't able to go this year. But yeah, nice stories, and we're hoping to see those stories again later on as Wouter Billen comes into the pits. Now, is Amadeo de Keizer going to cover that off? I would assume he does. I would assume he will. Saw Ruud Dennis moving out of the way, yeah, of that was De Grasse and Pavlacek, I think. No, De Grasse and Kuts, yeah. And also Tino de Munk also in the pits. Let's see, Wouter Billen is already back out, and he comes back out right in the middle of traffic, right in between. That should be, yeah, Xander Huizing and Michael Huma with Manojlovic in front. So there is Billen right in between those two. I'll keep an eye out on the Keizer for whether he will be diving into the pits. Can he go around the outside, Wouter Billen, of the Ferrari? Yes, he can. So now he knows how to get past Amadeo de Keizer. Easy peasy. He's also in the Ferrari. Oh, and Xander Huizing versus Michael Huma side by side. That's for position. But Huizing defending really well, and the Keizer stays out, it seems. Dore is in the pits. Kuts is in the pits as well. And Bilken and Thomas keeping each other very, very honest. Times within the 10th of a second of each other. Lap after lap after lap after lap. Wouter Billen, lucky for him, not losing too much time, but I'm going to go just a few meters back because this battle between Huma and Huizing is also shaping up nicely. Windward versus TSR Racing. And meanwhile, we can see if Billen makes quick work of Manojlovic as well. Michael Huma, the only Austrian in this this race. So before I said he was German, that's not true. He is Austrian. Stefan Vierloos as well in the pits. So the Keizer and the Pretre actually on different strategies. And Humer, can he go around the outside? Can he do what Wouter Billen did? Keeps it there. Oh, just a small touch. Now can he get the braking done? Here we have it. Billen gets past, but Huizing really defending well, but gets all closed up behind Manojlovic and loses the position. Dore is right there behind to also take advantage. That is, well, he is normally further up the grid, but now after his pit stop, he will be very happy to get past Xander Huizing that quickly due to circumstances. But just a slightest tap onto the back of Manojlovic, and Huizing had nowhere to go to defend. He is still in the lead of this race. Cliff Bilke now into the pits. He's our second place man. Where does he come out in relation to Bram de Pretre? We'll see. Here's Bram coming out of Maggots and Beckett's. So Bilke has quite a bit of time. Let's switch back. Bilke is back out. Coming through Maggots and Beckett's right now. Bilke in front of Marvin Mackenberg still, but this is a lot closer than before. So Mackenberg, I thought he was losing time, but looks like he gained some time. I said he is doing some very quick laps. 58.5 for De Pretre, 58.6 for Mackenberg. He's the only driver matching the pace of our race leader. And well, it shows. Bilke was in second, was the closest man to Bram de Pretre, and now Mackenberg is right there with him. And we are almost halfway through the race. The Keizer in the pits, Roland's in the pits as well. Let's see. The Keizer was fighting Wouter Billen. Billen going through the horseshoe. Let's have a look at the track map. Number 8 is in the pits. Coming through the last turn, and Michael Thomas is now our race leader for this one. In the pits, and he gets going, the Keizer. Here comes Kouwenberg. Where is Billen? Where is Billen? He is right there, but not close enough. So no pass there for Wouter Billen. He's a bit further back even than before. So the strategies all playing out. And Marvin Mackenberg. We'll have to see on that last lap. 59.2 now, dropping back just a little bit. Still a 58.5 for the Pretre. Very, very consistent. And also Michael Thomas is in the pits. Oh, almost a collision there. Luckily, that's not possible in the pits in ACC. But Thomas in the pits. He was in third. I think he will come out behind Bulke and Mackenberg, but we'll see. We'll have to see. Here is Mackenberg. Bulke right in front. Again, let's have a look at the track map. I have to look at number 28, parked at the end of the pit lane. Thomas still on the jacks. Here's Mackenberg and off the jacks now. Let's go on board. Oh, this is going to be very close for P2. Marvin Mackenberg has to stay behind, unfortunately. Now he has to try and take advantage of cold tires on Michael Thomas's car. But looks like those started working immediately for him. So Mackenberg very close, but it's P4 for him virtually right now. Sven de Wilf in the pits, Pavlacek in the pits, Kouwenberg in the pits. It's all kicking off now, just over halfway through this race. But this battle for P2 is far from over. Everybody with a clean set of tires, a full car, and newfound concentration. So the only driver still out is Damien de Grasse. Also Tommy Kosunen, Hazi and Iridius Partis takes a stop and go 30, unfortunately. But Damien de Grasse, as Kosunen comes in the pits, the only driver still running. So he's going along on his first stint. Might not be the worst. Hannah Song is in first of the AM Cup, but as you can see at the bottom of the timing sheets, Xander Huizing has served his second pit stop. So he did a splash and dash at the end of the first or second lap, and then pitted just over halfway through this race. Now let's look at lap times. De Pretre 58.7. Bulke 58.5. Thomas doesn't have a representative time yet, but Mackenberg, Bayer 59.2, 59.8. So it is getting very, very close indeed, but looks like Bulke has a bit of pace advantage over Thomas and Marvin Mackenberg. But look at, yeah, those top 10 drivers Aston Martin at the moment, Ferrari, Ford, BMW, Lexus, Ferrari, Ford, Mercedes. So a nice spread of cars, which means that the BOP is working to a certain extent. Driver skill, of course, is the most important part here in order to get to the front of a big and experienced field like this. But as we say, respect first, winning second. That is our motto, and it is true. Respect is the most important thing, and that is respect for your competitors, but also respect for the organizers. And that's why we try to focus so much on commitment, rewarding people with prizes for commitment, for signing up to the series and then sticking with it until the end, because that's where you get the most value. That's what we feel, at least. So it's a very important aspect, and looking at the names today on the grid, it is really an important part. Some of these drivers have been on the track for more than 100 races in different sims, and then every time new faces pop up, and then most of the time they like it, they stay or they come back whenever time permits. But very nice to see a nice group of racers, very competitive at the front, but we have the silver and M classes as well. So we are catering to all different stages of sim racing proficiency, let's say, and I think everybody can appreciate that. And with a 35 driver or 35 car grid now, maybe even more at Misano, I think we will always have something to watch, and the drivers will always have something to fight for. Always someone right there in front of them, a couple of seconds behind or in front. And that makes you come back even if you're battling for whatever, P25, P30. I mean, the gap between Dennis here in P24 and Ian Paskin and Paul Heron is still under 10 seconds after an hour and 10 minutes of racing. So there are still options to move up the grid in this case. Quite a couple of drivers already served their mandatory pit stops. Looks like Frank Keurvelds at the moment might be in last position, although Justin Vetter, yeah, he's had a stinker of a race at the moment with some penalties. He's in 35th position, 5 laps down. Not what he wanted. Oh, who's that off the track? Is that Paskin? No, that's one of the Venema? No. And Vetter then? No, who is the other? Huizing, I think. At least it was one of the TSR Netherlands guys, so Huizing or Venema. But everything seems to be back to normal right now. So let's have a quick look. The gap between De Pretre and Bulke. My sheet is showing 30 seconds, but it's 20 seconds. Then 1.4 to Thomas, 1.3 to Mackenberg, and Max Bayer up into 6th position, 6 seconds down, and 5 more seconds to Sven Mackenberg. So all the gaps now spreading out a bit. Logical. And they will come down again come the end of the race with worn tires, empty fuel tanks, splash and dashes coming up probably. But as you can see, best lap for Cliff Bulke 58.3, last lap 58.6, so he's operating within a very small and good window to keep hold of this second spot in the number 2 Intense Racing, the current team's champions, together with David Dore in 12th position right now. There are a lot of very strong teams, and I think they will really have their work cut out for them in order to get to the front of that team's championship again. But if any team can do it, it is probably intense racing, as Bilke gets past the 99 horsepower Ford. That's Sven Hecke. Bilke 2/10 quicker than the Pretre on that last lap, but yeah, Thomas as well 1/10 quicker, but with a 20-second gap. The Pretre has the luxury to maybe not push that hard in traffic, take it a bit easier on the tires if possible. Florian Kutz still in the lead of that silver class, but it is still very close. I mean, Manojlovic 8 seconds behind, followed by Pavlacek, Kosonen, De Wilf, Fillingham, all in that silver class. And De Grasse now finally in the pits for the Aston Martin of Pantera Blue racing team. He's already down, but still getting some fuel, and now gets it going. Where does he end up? Very eager to see. He will be dropping down a bit, but I think he was in 13th or something. He's right there with... That's Radek Pavlacek, I think. Yeah, okay, so he didn't really gain that much time, it seems. Yeah, he's behind. No, he's behind Arella, looks like. No, it's Pavlacek for horsepower in the Ford versus Aston Martin battle. So at the front, all with one pit stop, the whole top 21. And Manojlovic is now back into the pits. Here he is. And back out again as well. So did he take a splash and dash already? It's not registering, at least for him, so not sure what he did, but it wasn't taking fuel in any case, so he has to go through the pits one more time. And as I was saying, we have our top 10 with De Pretre, Bilke, Thomas, Mackenberg, Marvin, Max Bayer, then Sven Mackenberg, Amadeo de Keizer, Wouter Billen, Kevin Rowlands, Michael Huma for the top 10, and then it's David Dore, Rob Taplin also moving up the order quite well. Florian Kutz, leader of the Silver Cup, Ralph Arella in 14th, De Grasse 15th, Pavlacek, Kosonen, De Wilf, Song currently in the AM Cup lead, but still has a pit stop to do, followed by Cy Fillingham, Xander Huizing currently well into the lead of the AM Cup class. Then it's Stefan Virlos, Tino de Munk, Nemanja Manojlovic, Sabots Albertini, Sven Hecke, Olivier Kouwenberg, Landreth, Venema, Bartes Heron, Paskin, Dennis Kurvelds, and Justin Vetter. Kurvelds now in the pits to take his fuel, I would assume. And then, well, the bottom 8 drivers have all taken their fuel pit stops, their mandatory stops, so they can only move up, let's say. It looks like the Prêtre is easing off a little bit. He's a bit slower in these last few laps, but he can afford it. What is the closest on-track battle? It is this one. It's Dore versus Huma. Let's go on board in the Ford Mustang. And everyone, if you are liking the stream, liking the racing, feel free to give the stream a like and subscribe to the channel in order to be notified of any future streams. In 2 weeks time we will have a 90-minute race at Misano with this same exact grid, maybe even more drivers joining us. We had 40 signups, 35 drivers on the grid today. There's always circumstances, of course, but next race we know for a fact that some people will be joining us for sure, so stay tuned for that. It will be an epic season, judging by how close the field is and how clean the racing is so far. So I think we couldn't have hoped for a better opening round so far. Thomas and Mackenberg really staying within touching distance of Bulke. And I think for intense racing it would be a great result if Dore can get into that top 10. That would really give them a boost. But at the moment, not sure if it would be NSN, the Prêtre and the Keizer, or Marvin and Sven Mackenberg who would be leading the team's championship. That's something that we would see before the next race in 2 weeks time. We'll go over the results, the standings, etc., all the ins and outs, any penalties applied for incidents, of which I haven't seen that many. So our stewards always go through the first lap, which reminds me to maybe save the replay. I've already missed the first few laps, but they were very clean. In any case, the first lap is being reviewed by the stewards by default, so any incidents happening there will get spotted, will be investigated, and possibly penalized. And it's not a mandatory rule, but the gentleman's rule is favored here at RRL, which means that if you hit another driver and make a pass or make a mistake and you hit someone off, that if you can, wait for your victim, leave them back past, and try again. And if you do that and your incident is in lap 1 or gets reported throughout the further race, then your penalty will be less harsh than if you just hit someone and just drive off into the distance without any consideration. And again, that ties in with our mantra, respect first, winning second. As I said, it's not mandatory, but most drivers do it. We saw it in the small incident. Was it with Hannah Song before and Iridios Partes? They also eased off the throttle and let their victim, innocent victim, back past. It was only a small mistake, but still, it shows respect for your fellow competitors. Bayer and Arella on the 2/3 mark of the race coming in. So are they taking fuel and tires on both stops, or is that a bit different? Bayer, oh, stop and go 30 for Max Bayer. That's not what he wanted. So he, yeah, speeding in the pit lane, I guess. That should be. He served his penalty, but sped in the pit lane, and now he will drop down the order like a stone, having to go through the pits once again, and staying there for 30 seconds, which is a long time. I'll have to see where he ends up. Let's have a quick look. This battle with Dore and Huma keeps going, but it's from a small distance. 3/10 only between the two, but that's a big enough gap to not be of any concern to Michael Huma for the moment. At the front, the gaps are a bit bigger as well now, but Bulke ever so slightly getting closer to Bram de Pretre. I feel that gap is now well under 20 seconds, but still, yeah, 19.8 is not well under 20 seconds. De Pretre still very much in control of this race so far. Still 40 minutes left on the clock. 40 minutes to make mistakes, 40 minutes to negotiate traffic, to keep everything running smoothly. Of course, sim racing, we can all deal with some technical difficulties, internet issues, mechanical failures, technical failures. So luckily, I don't think it has happened to anyone so far this race, but yeah, someone dropped out already. We had 36 during qualifying, 35 now. Unfortunately, I haven't spotted who has dropped, but Max Bayer pitting again from 17th spot now, and seeing how close the field is after an hour and 20 minutes, he will probably drop back well outside of the top 20. Not what he would have wanted, but it is what it is. And here, maybe lap traffic could play a role. Oh, that's TSR Netherlands. And also De Pretre comes in. Mackenberg comes in. De Pretre is in the pits. Max Bayer is now back out of the pits. 19th spot it seems for him. No, 21st, still dropping down. But De Pretre and Marvin Mackenberg are coming in for a stop. So I know De Pretre in the past has done the stop and go 30 for Bram De Pretre. Big drama here for the lead of the race. Bram De Pretre. This puts Cliff Bulke, Michael Thomas and Marvin Mackenberg, who has just pitted, on the podium, and Cliff Bulke in the lead of this race. Mackenberg has come out of the pits without any penalty. So he is the first one of the top runners to clear his mandatory pit stops. But De Pretre will be kicking himself. Now he had a 20-second gap, but that's not enough to cover off this big penalty. He will lose at least, what is it, 50 seconds, I think. At least 50, maybe a minute to this penalty. So that's a big head scratcher there for NSN. His teammate De Keizer in 7th position. Yeah, he might. No, he will end up somewhere outside of the top 10, I think, with that penalty. Let's follow him around and see if he dives into the pits. But that's how easy a mistake is made, guys. It's just so precise. You need to be on your best concentration for 2 hours straight. You have these 2 pit stops. They're part of the race, part of the game, and you need to get them right. And if you push the limits, it's always possible to go over them. Exhibit A, driver champion Max Bayer. Exhibit B, Bram de Pretre, who puts in some laps, doesn't go into the pits for now, but yeah, essentially this makes this man here, Cliff Bilke, who is getting further and further away from Michael Thomas. He puts Cliff Bilke in the lead, and I'm going to check. It has been a while. It has been a while since Cliff Bilke has won a GT3 Masters race, I think. Now I might be underestimating him, but can I look at this information quickly? Let's see. Should be getting that info soon. De Pretre. Cliff Bilke. Let's see here. So Cliff Bilke, his last race win, yeah, right, that was last season at the wet Hungaroring. He took first spot, but then after that one, it's going back to the 10th of April 2022, the 5th edition of GT3 Masters 5, where he became the champion at Silverstone by winning the race. So at the moment, it's all happy faces in Cliff Bilke's garage, and Bram de Pretre is in the pits waiting for that 30-second timer to count down, and there he is back out. 10th spot at the moment. Let's see, he comes out just in front of 157. That's Michael Huma, so he will come out in looks like 15th spot. Yeah, all right. My timings haven't updated. Let's fix that. So big drama. Bram de Pretre, our race leader, dominant race leader for a big portion of this race, taking a stop and go 30, and that will put everyone in that top, well, everyone, not only in the top 10, but everyone on edge, trying to make sure they don't make the same mistake themselves, because, yeah, it's really a shame. But 15th position now for Bram de Pretre. How far up can he get? He's 2.5 behind Hannah Song at the moment. Still to pit. So quite a bit of people still to pit, of course. We'll have to see if that helps him. He should be able to get inside the top 10, but not at all what he was expecting just a couple of minutes ago. He is now right behind. That should be 293. That is Ruud Dennis for Grizzly Racing. He moves out of the way. And look at this. The battle for the lead of the race now heating up. Last lap for Bilke, 1:59.4. Last lap for Michael Thomas, 1:59.4. Just a couple of hundredths quicker, but the gap is only 1.6. So everything is really, really possible here for him. And Sven Mackenberg, 15 seconds back, but that's not the Mackenberg we have to look at today for the podium spots. That's his brother Marvin, and he's running in the first position of the people that have already taken all of their pit stops. Only 28 minutes left on the clock. Time is ticking down crazy fast, but it's Cliff Bilke who has everything to lose now. He still has to make that pit stop, that all-important pit stop. Will they leave it to the final lap of the race, or can they squeeze it in somewhere in the next, let's say, 20 minutes? Bram de Pretre still with the fastest lap. His fastest lap, 1:57.9, 57.9. That's let's see, that's 4/10 quicker than the second fastest lap, which from what I can see here looks like it's Cliff Bilke, 1:58.35. So that shows you how angry Bram probably was pushing in that in lap, or that lap in between his pit stop and his penalty. But here we have our race leader, and then Michael Thomas in the pink BMW. Wild things indeed. We'll see if he can get close to Cliff Bilke and really put the fight to him for the race lead. Now, let's have a quick look at close battles. Closest battle actually is Kevin Rowlands, putting the pressure on Wouter Pillen. Only just under a second there between them. But Rollins going strong. His teammate Huma is in 15th. He has gotten passed by De Pretre. He's now in 14th spot. We have to wait now for those final pit stops to come. See if those pit stops can spice up the action just a little bit. Gaps are close, but Hannah Song, see, yeah, she's just behind Stefan Virlos in the Useless Racers car, the Lamborghini Heron. His teammate is in 30th spot. So can Song get past Virlos for second spot in the AM Cup. She is pushing. She's pushing very, very hard indeed. So good traction out of Club Chicane with the Porsche. And again, Bulke and Thomas setting the exact same lap times down to the 100th of a second. These guys are really not giving each other an inch. But also, as I said, for P22 essentially, but second spot in the M class is Song and Virlos. Can Song stick it around the outside and keep Virlos tight through Woodcut? Song really has good control over that Porsche. It's not misbehaving in any way, shape or form. I think both of these drivers will be enjoying this battle. See from the helicam how close it is. Oh, and I hadn't even noticed, but Olivier Kouwenberg has joined the party. Will they make it 3 wide? Oh, they will. Now, can Hannah Song stay on the inside for Club Chicane? She can. Now she just needs to get the braking done right. And she can turn it in and make the pass. And I think Virlos, yeah, she is going to lose out to Kouwenberg. Kouwenberg in the pro class at the moment, battling it out with these two AM Cup drivers. But as I said, classes are not finalized yet, and actually everyone here is very, very closely matched, as we see Cy Fillingham as well from the onboard right behind these three. Kevin Rowlands about a second behind Wouter Billen. And Virlos, yeah, dropped a couple of spots now behind Cy Fillingham, moving up P24, Raffaella P17. If I go further down, the gaps down the grid are also small, I mean, Albertini, Heron, Heke, Dennis, Justin Vetter has left the server, it seems, together with 3 more drivers. We have 32 now, 32 on the server. And Tommy Kosonen in the pits to take his second full pit stop. Looks like Cy Fillingham trying to get past Olivier Kouwenberg. And the Pretre up into P13 now. Sven de Wulf, he is very, very close to Florian Kutz. Sven de Wulf. That looks like that is the Pretre in front. It looks like. And Huma. So I'm a bit confused as to what has happened here. The Wolf is behind the Pretre. And yeah, we have one of the Windward Mercedes there in front of the Pretre. And he lets the Pretre pass, so slicing through the field now. Pretre's last lap time 58.9. The race leader Cliff Bilke doing 59.2, so 3/10 quicker than our race leader. It won't be enough to get past, but we'll see how close he gets. I mean, every single spot that he takes is a win for NSN, because at the moment it looks like Speculations are or will be leading the team's championship, but Bilke and Dora Intense Racing are not doing too bad either. Wouter Billen, and he was just behind Amadeo de Keizer. Yeah, they were in a battle before the pit stops as well, but de Keizer in the pits now. Let's hope the second NSN driver gets the pit stop right. Yeah, splash and dash for him. Goes to green, so no more pit stops for him normally, and he makes it out without any pit stops. So great to see for de Keizer, and we will start seeing some pit stops now for sure. And we'll have to see how it all pans out. Bilke versus Thomas, now 4.1. So Thomas losing some pace in the latter half of this stint. And Amadeo de Keizer. Oh, de Keizer is in front. Yeah, just right in front of Marvin Mackenberg. So Mackenberg, if he wants to get onto the podium, he will have to fight it out on track in the next 15 minutes. And both Pavlacek and Kutz mentioned before the race that they always open the season with a pretty mediocre result, but so far I think 9th and 12th or 11th position are nothing to be ashamed of in this grid. So we'll have to see. We'll keep an eye out for them, and also we'll keep an eye out on the lap times from Marvin Mackenberg, Amadeo de Keizer versus Cliff Bilke and Michael Thomas, because they are in with a real chance. De Keizer taking pole position, so he has the pace. Now, can he produce some quali laps in the final 14 minutes of this race? That's the question. It is oh so close, and I'm sure that many drivers will have a lot of stories to tell about the race afterwards. And yeah, make sure to do that. Make sure to leave your race reports on Discord. It gives everyone some insight into your race, and creates a bond. It also gives me some information, some nice things, some nice tidbits to talk about in the next few rounds. It's Ferrari versus Lexus, but Ford Mustang at the front versus the BMW of Michael Thomas. 4 seconds between them. And again, 59.5 for Bilke, 59.4 for Thomas, 59.7 for Sven Mackenberg. And yeah, the top 5, Dylan and Rollins as well, they still need to come into the pits. They have a 24-second advantage over De Keizer and Mackenberg. Now looks like Mackenberg is getting a bit closer. 15.8.9 for him on the last lap, and we'll see what that last lap or that new lap for De Keizer will be. I think that should be a representative time already, but we'll see. 59.6 for De Keizer, 59.0 for Mackenberg, so 6 tenths. And Cuts as well, right behind. Let's see, Cuts versus De Pretre. De Pretre got past Cuts, that's why that was so close. So Cuts now down to 11th spot, but most notably Mackenberg versus De Keizer. Yeah, Mackenberg is not going to let this one get away. He's going to try everything in the book to get past and get that potential P3 podium spot for Speculacious. This is the closest on-track battle right now, and it is for the podium. So Lexus versus Ferrari, and it's looking mighty close. So I'm already feeling that the drivers will be making it tough for me and making their splash and dashes at the very end of this race, making it difficult to follow. But for sure we'll try Bram de Pretre into the top 10 after passing Florian Kuts, and he might probably get ahead of Pavlacek after the pit stops, but that's about it. Can he get close to the door? Not sure. But look at how planted the Lexus looks in the hands of Marvin Mackenberg. Impressive to see. Bilke now 3/10 slower than Michael Thomas, but 4 seconds is a healthy gap. Tino de Mink in the pits for Yellow Bull Racing. Can Mackenberg get close again for the rundown on Hanger Straight? That's his best opportunity. The straight line speed, or to use the straight line speed of the Lexus. Gets a good run here. Now he just needs to keep it steady. Now you see what really turns in well. A bit wide here. He needs to try and focus a little bit more on the exit, but of course, yeah, you need to stay close through the turn as well, so easier said than done. Now let's move back to a driver that we haven't seen a lot of today, or I at least didn't. Rob Taplin. He is behind Michael Huma in the Windward Racing Mercedes, number 157. Taplin as well in the Lexus. Or will he show Marvin Mackenberg, how it's done? Looks like Huma got away with that off track. Yeah, he stays in front, but that was very close. We go back on board with Taplin, and they have the grass in front, but that's not him. Who we see going through the S's here. 6 minutes on the clock. That's normally 3 more laps. Where is Cliff Bilke on the track? He's on the back half of the track, so we will see 3 more laps after this one. Sorry, 2 more laps. And Pavlacek is now in the pits. Pavlacek in the pits. That means that the Pretre is going for a P9 now. That will put Kuts in the top 10 as well. Yes, he is. Yes, he does. So top 10 currently for the Finger Racing Ferrari. His teammate Kosonen is in P16 after 56 laps of racing. We'll win this battle. Mackenberg and de Keizer. 5 minutes left on the clock, and Bilke is in from the lead. Will Michael Thomas follow him through? No, he doesn't. Bilke in the pits. Thomas keeps going. Now it's money time, and now let's see how far in front of de Keizer and Mackenberg that they come out. Let's pull up the track map as we get to the climax of this race. The number 2 is in the pits. Number 28 keeps going, but number 2, let's have a look. Where is Marvin? Where is Amadeo de Keizer? They're still going through Woodcut, so... Oh! Bit of a slide there, I think, yeah. They are side by side, almost. A bit of a mistake there from the Keizer, but yeah, I wanted to show Bilke not under pressure. So it looks like Bilke at the moment well out in front as they go side by side here. Can Marvin Mackenberg make this one stick? Oh, just a small touch. Just unsettling the rear of the NSN Ferrari. But now surely around the outside. The Keizer lets it drift wide a little bit. Oh, but this battle really shows what the RRL GT3 Masters is all about. A battle for the podium after 2 hours on track. Ferrari versus Lexus. But at the moment, Ferrari has the upper hand, although he will be sweaty. That's for sure. Now, Thomas keeps going for now. Bilke is 13 seconds in front of Sven Mackenberg. So actually that means that Sven and Marvin have swapped places and have done so, yeah, quite massively actually. Sven is 10 seconds up the road from Marvin. Unless I'm mistaken, I think Marvin was the leading driver of these two earlier in the race. Anyway, Kevin Rowlands is in for Windward Racing. And we keep a visual eye on this battle. Rowlands is out of the pits without any penalties. So that's good for him. Now the only one left to pit as Marvin Mackenberg goes for another try. And I think he has done it. Yes, he has. Great move there. Olivier Kouwenberg getting a drive through with 1 minute and 30 seconds left on the clock. Poor Olivier Kouwenberg. Anyway, Marvin Mackenberg gets onto the podium. That's a speculacious 3 and 4. That's a great result. Looking at their reactions before the race, that's not what they expected. And Kevin Rowlands is right behind as well. Wouter Billen right behind. So if we go on board now with Billen, we have Rowlands, De Keizer, Mackenberg, all within one shot as Michael Thomas now gets into the pits. This is the final lap. Where does he get it stopped? And we are looking at the number 2. The number 2 is coming through Woodcut. It's gonna be not so close. He still has to stop. Is it a perfect stop? Gets going once again. Up into the helicam. Oh, Michael Thomas gets in front, out in front of Cliff Bilke. It's the final lap of this race. Can Cliff Bilke get this one back? The Mustang straight line speed must help him. If he gets a good exit out of Hanger Straight. Oh, what has Michael Thomas done? He pulled it out of the back. He gained 4 seconds. 4 seconds in those few laps between the 2 pit stops. Oh, Cliff Bilke. And what a debut here at RRL for Michael Thomas. really solid drive, but it's not over until it's over. As I said, the final few moments of this race, Wouter Billen only half a second behind Kevin Rowlands. But we keep an eye out for the battle for the lead. Well, Michael Thomas was really on it out of the pits, and he needed to be, but I'm not sure he expected to be that close. Maybe Bilke took it a little bit easier in the pits because he had a bit of a cushion and left some time on the table. Don't see any big moves happening here from Cliff Bilke. He is wiser than that. So final corner of the race and a shock first win for Michael Thomas. A solo entry in the pink Wild Things Racing BMW, and while it was a race win for Michael Thomas, second spot for Cliff Bilke, Sven and Marvin Mackenberg in third and fourth spot, but defending still. That's the useless racers, Virlos or Heron, but Marvin Mackenberg coming out in fourth, Sven Mackenberg on the podium. Great result for him. Amadeo de Keizer in fifth, Kevin Rowlands in sixth. Wouter Billen in seventh position, David Dore eighth, Bram de Preter eventually in ninth, just behind David Dore, pushing him all the way to the line. Oh, Damien de Grasse gets a top 10 spot. Florian Ketsch just outside of top 10, but winning the silver class. Radek Pavlacek, 12th position, Rob Taplin and Michael Huma. Then it's Ralph Arella for P15, and you can see how close it all is. Kouwenberg got a 30-second penalty for not taking his drive-through there at the end of the race, but who can blame him? Tommy Kosunen in P16, Sven de Wilf, Max Bayer, Xander Huizing taking the win in the AM Cup in front of Hannah Song. He's a lap up even. Then Cy Fillingham P21, Olivier Kouwenberg, Stefan Virlos, Manojlovic, Landreth, Tino de Munk. Oh, got disqualified. Want to hear that story later. Iridius Partes, Richard Venema, Paul Heron, Sabolj Albertini, Ruud Dennis, Tino de Munk disqualified, and Sven Hecke, last one of the runners, 58 laps, so he's showing up a bit wrong in my timing screen it seems, but yeah, we missed Weigt, Kervelds and Vetter for the end of the race, but what a race it was. What a race it was. I'll show you some views of the calendar, so what is coming up in the next few weeks until the end of the year, and let's see if we have someone in the waiting room. We do. Let's drive third spot man Sven Mackenberg here into the booth. Hi Sven, good evening.
Good evening.
Hi, I'm going to bump your volume up just a little bit. Just give me a sec. Yeah, that should be better. Hey, congrats on the podium. That was, I think, or as I heard before the race, quite unexpected result.
Yeah, thank you. I was hoping to get around P5, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
but podium is really unexpected. So I didn't really prepare for this strategy. I just went for it on the fly. plan was to do a normal two-stop.
All right, yeah, and I think I might be mistaken, but Marvin was ahead of you for most of the race, but then in the end it was you even quite far behind in front of him. So yeah, great drive. I think both of you did a solid job, just keeping it together. Maybe did you enjoy the little sprinkle of rain in the Lexus?
I didn't prepare for any rain at all, so not really. This was pretty decent in the wet, so I didn't really mind.
Yeah, the Lexus is quite good in the wet, so well, we didn't really see any big differences being made there, but that was indeed an unexpected little shower. Luckily, it was only short. Hey, well, winner of the Lexus Cup, I would say, and a good start for you and for the whole team for the next races in this series.
Yeah, definitely. So it's supposedly the worst track for the Lexus, so it's promising.
Yeah, that's promising indeed. And I guess yeah, you will be leading the team's championship, of course, third and fourth position. But let's also talk to Michael Thomas, new driver here at RRL and coming in with a bang. Congratulations, Michael.
Thank you. Yeah, I didn't really expect that, but it's good. I'm happy. So
Yeah, for sure. It was it was quite let's say well, controversial, not, but quite a surprise to see you at the top there because from what I saw before Cliff pitted, you were about 4 seconds behind. Did you push extremely hard after he pitted, or was it just maybe a case of getting the perfect stop there at the end with the splash and dash?
yeah, it was definitely the perfect stop. I think Cliff might have made a mistake, maybe on pit entry or lining up the box or getting going. But yeah, to gain 5 seconds in one lap is a bit crazy. Like I said, I didn't expect it. I came out the pits expecting to be behind, seeing I was ahead, and then like my heart was racing. I was like, oh god,
Mine
oh
as
god,
well.
oh god, oh god, because my tires obviously dropped in pressure for the pit stop. He would have had a lap or two to maybe get them back up. But yeah, he didn't really get too close, thankfully, and it was all good. But yeah, the tires on the car were absolutely dead, absolutely dead.
Yeah, probably.
Really poor tyre wear on the BMW. But yeah, good fun. Nice to see the little bit of rain as well. That was interesting.
Yeah, that wasn't really planned, but yeah, we always keep a little bit of randomness in, and yeah, luckily it's just a little sprinkle, nothing too major. There will be some wet races coming up for sure, but yeah, well, as I said, congratulations. It was a bit of a shock for me as well. You'll see that on the stream if you watch it afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, very exciting race, I must say, and very happy from my side and probably from for all of you guys as well to see a clean first lap as far as I saw. Everyone
Yep.
through halfway through lap one were still bunched up, so no major incidents, which with a 35 car grid can always happen, but it's always a bit of a mess when something happens in the middle of the field, and yeah, this gives the best possible racing, and we saw that on the stream as well.
Some agreed.
So any final thoughts from the both of you for this round or the next round in Misano? 90 minutes, a bit shorter, a bit snappier.
Uh, no, from me, just hopefully the same again. Really good racing. Different strategies, different cars like Lexus, obviously up there. Amazing. Like things you like to see. Everything that's just happened.
Yeah. I absolutely hate Misano, so this will not be fun for me.
I think it always provides some good action. Sometimes a bit over the limit, but we'll see. I think with Silverstone now behind us, we might see some great racing there. So thanks for jumping in the booth and thanks for the great race. I hope you watch it back. If you have any comments or inside information for the next race, feel free to share it on the Discord. But Thanks for joining.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
All right, so that's it for round 1 of this GT3 Masters Championship. As I said, Michael Thomas won the race from Cliff Bilke in second spot, and Sven Mackenberg in third spot. Great racing throughout the field. Also the Silver Cup, Florian Kutz and Xander Huizing in the AM Cup. Congratulations to them for their wins in class. Those classes will still be reviewed, as I said. But for now, it's goodbye for tonight, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Misano for a 90-minute race, so a little bit shorter. We'll get into all of the details then. We'll talk about the standings, any inside information or gossip going around in the Discord channels. And yeah, again, if you enjoyed the stream, you haven't left a like yet, do that now and subscribe to the channel to get notified when we go live once again in 2 weeks' time. Have a good evening and goodbye.